Hello, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Katrina Foster, pastor of St. John's Lutheran Church in beautiful Greenpoint, Brooklyn. And tonight is one of our Lenten midweek pop-up testimonials, where for the season of Lent, Lutherans give up our reticence to talk about our faith, and especially our reticence to talk about Jesus. So we become more like Baptists tonight. I'm so glad you're here. This is the second year that we're doing this. This was a ministry that began during the pandemic, and we will continue this. It's a way that we can share our faith, that we can encourage you, and we can be a witness to how our faith has changed us and carried us. And tonight, it's a very special treat for me, especially. Steve Goodenough is with us tonight. I have known the good Steve Goodenough for a very long time now, and we'll talk about that perhaps. And he is part of our online community. Last week we had Percy Perez, who gave their testimonial, and who's also part of our online community. So Steve Goodenough and Dr. Judy is there in the back, and Maggie is also there encouraging Steve tonight. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. I'm really grateful for you that you said yes. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Glad to share some thoughts.
Yes. So before we get to the questions, I love the shirt that you have on. I was fearful for a moment that it was a Jets shirt, which, is not something that we throw people out for. That is only for Boston Red Sox, that we get rid of them. But that's a Pinecrest Lutheran Leadership Ministry shirt. Can you tell us something about Pinecrest?
Pinecrest is where my wife and I met Pastor.
Well, no.
Years ago.
Where we fell in love.
I'll get to that.
Okay, there's a correction coming from the back. All right, that's where we fell in love.
Great Sunday school. We went to Sunday school.
I'll get to that too.
Okay.
Backseat driver here. My goodness. My goodness. Okay, well, yeah, we met Pastor Katrina at Pinecrest.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first year? Do you remember how long ago it was?
Definitely before my daughter was born, and that was she's 19. And and I've been ordained 27 years. I was a baby pastor the first time I went. So it's probably like, I don't know, 24 years ago.
Over 20 years. Yeah. That's where we met at Pinecrest Lutheran Leadership Ministries, which is a camping program of the New York Synod. It's a 1-week program for teenagers and young adults, and it involves a lot of fun, for one thing, and worshiping in a totally different way than most teenagers and young adults have ever had the opportunity to worship. There are classes taken in the morning. There's Bible study. And then there are sports. The camp is broken up into different segments, and they have teams that compete against each other, friendly competition. And there are several services during the day. We have a Vespers service after dinner, and it's just a unique way that we started going when we were 16, Judy and I. And we fell in love with the whole concept and the idea that you could worship differently. And there's a lot of singing, a lot of music, which I fell in love with.
Right.
And we've been going, like I said, for over 50 years now. We've been attending camp. We're not campers anymore, mind you. We are on the staff and help to run the program.
Right.
So and when Pastor Katrina came, another good thing about camp is that there are several different preachers during the week. We have at our Vespers service, there's preaching, and you get to see a whole different different styles and different types of preachers.
Mhm.
And again, it opened your eyes as a teenager. It opened my eyes to see different types of preaching. And we were immediately impressed with Pastor Katrina, I have to say.
Thank you. One of the things that I loved when I've been on faculty there, and I've been on faculty maybe 6 or 7 times, I think, is it becomes almost like a preaching competition. You know, the first night the preacher sets the bar and everybody is just like preaching their faces off. Like it's intense, biblical, relevant, emotive preaching, which is not the kind of powerful preaching that you might hear in Lutheran churches on Sundays.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably not the way you might preach to your congregation when you're in front of a bunch of teenagers.
Right. And it's intense. I remember we did a healing service one year when I preached, when now Bishop Bill Gall, Pastor Bill Gall and I were co-teaching a class on sexuality. And we did a healing service, and the service took forever because like everybody wanted to come forward and be anointed and lay on hands and do all that stuff. Just really life-changing ministry. And you know, it's a camp run by the kids, right? The adults are kind of secondary, tertiary. The kids really put it all together and run it. And I think it's one of the most fun ministries, but also one of the most effective ministries that I have ever been blessed to witness. It has changed it's changed my family. It's changed my daughter's life. It's changed my life. And you guys, you know, got to meet in 3rd grade, Dr. Judy. And then
we'll get to that part. Yeah. That's one of my blessings that I want to talk about. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about how you came to St. John's. Because what state do you live in, Steve?
We're in Massachusetts. We're in Florence, Massachusetts.
Right. And St. John's is in Brooklyn, New York.
There. I've been to Brooklyn.
Yeah. So give us the rundown. How did you become an associate member of St. John's?
Through an invitation, I assume. Once we found out that your services were being put online on Facebook and on YouTube, we started worshiping online. We started worshiping, couch worshiping, I guess you could call it. Couch worshiping on the laptop, on the iPad, I guess. And it works. It works. It's 2-dimensional, mind you, but when we started, there was the pandemic, and so it was 2-dimensional. And I do miss the hugs and handshakes and one-on-one communion, personal communion. But still, the message is there, and we sit there and drinking our coffee and feel that we are worshiping. We are and the love of God.
And your granddaughter, when the last time we were at camp, Dr. Judy came over to me and said, Amy, your daughter, wants to know, would you be willing to baptize the baby? No, Heather wanted to know.
Heather, yeah.
And I was like, yes. And it was, and you know, we baptize into something, right? It's not, hey, Katrina showed up and threw some water on the baby and that called it a day, right? We baptize into something, and that into something is into Christ, but it's also into a community. So I talked to them. I was like, where are y'all going to go? Where are you going to go? And it was the pandemic. And so my wife, who's much smarter than I am and a much better Christian than I'll ever be, she was like, go baptize the baby. You will figure it out. And your grandbaby is why we received associate members online. I don't know if y'all realize that.
No.
But it was the baby's going to be baptized into something. She's baptized in as a member of St. John's. And now mom is, and aunt is, and grandparents are also. And that's, and Percy also. It was just like, God is doing a new thing. And while this is incomplete and not as good as in person and receiving the sacrament, it is better than nothing. And that's, your granddaughter really was the impetus, the catalyst for why we began an online congregational membership, And I think it's been certainly a growing learning curve. So how do you integrate people? How do you build community that way? And, we're figuring it out, and
On my end, speaking of for the congregation, speaking for the worshiper, it's a lot easier, obviously, than getting in the car and driving or getting on public transportation to get to the church. And the message is still there as far as I'm,
right.
Again, what I said before, you missed the three-dimensional stuff.
Right. Sorry, my wife just walked in and did something.
It's your house, isn't it?
So that's how you came to be part of St. John's, you, Dr. Judy, your daughters, your granddaughter.
Yeah.
Now, here's the big question. What difference does being loved by Jesus make in your life?
I like to think that Jesus shows me his love in blessings by giving me things that I am blessed and thankful to have. Going back to my childhood, my biggest blessing, I would have to say, would in my life would be my mother. My mother gave me the attitude that I have, the spirit that I have, the sense of humor that I have, and she was one of the maybe the most positive person that I've ever known. She was the one who every cloud has a silver lining. Always look on the bright side of life.
Something like that.
That's Monty Python, I know, but
I know.
But one of her expressions was, "Let your troubles be like water off a duck's back." If you ever saw a duck go underwater and come up, the water just comes right off. And she gave me that attitude that I've carried through my life, a positive attitude, stiff upper lip, and I was blessed. She passed away recently,
right,
at 99 years old. So I had that many years of of optimism from my mom, and that to me says, yes, Jesus loves me.
Yeah. My Sunday school teacher, whom I grew to call Oma, she was a World War II war bride. Her husband was a GI, and after the war ended, he was in Europe, in England, met her, married her, and she came to the United States. And his name was Luther. He was German. And I will never forget, from a young child on, she taught me Jesus loved me. I couldn't remember anything else she taught me, but in my bones, I grew to believe that was true. And that
my mom is English. I am English. I was born in England. We came over on the Queen Elizabeth or Queen Mary. We came on one of those queens.
Okay.
I was about 2 years old, and my first interaction with Jesus, I guess, was third grade. We mentioned before, third grade Sunday school. My parents decided that their kids should go to Sunday school, so they took us to Epiphany Lutheran in Hempstead, Long Island. We were living not too far away, so we went there, and I think I started in third grade. I think I was in first and second grade in Queens, and then we moved out to Long Island. but third grade Sunday school is what Judy mentioned before. That's where I met the girl who would become my wife, Judy. That's where Judy and I met, in third grade Sunday school.
Mhm,
And,
mhm.
and needless to say, we've been together since. We didn't start dating in third grade, mind you. That was a bit later on, but it
Mhm,
was through Sunday school. It was through the church.
mhm.
We went through grade school, and then kept going to church. We had a good sized youth group at
Mhm.
Epiphany when we were in junior and senior high school. And that's when we started going to Pinecrest. We found out about Pinecrest. We had maybe 25 or 30 kids in our youth group. And we had some wonderful retreats.
Yeah.
And then we went on to Pinecrest. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yep.
And Judy and I started dating after our, I don't know, our second or third year in after camp. We were the youth group. People would, the kids would start dating one another and
Right.
going out here and there. And we started dating then, and
Mhm.
we've been married for 50 something years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Jesus loves me. Again,
Yes.
yes. Jesus loves me.
Yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
truly blessed.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I can talk about my kids, my two daughters,
Yes.
who are wonderful. They both have
Mhm.
jobs now, and they are directly helping young people.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yes, Jesus loves me. And now
Yeah.
we have three granddaughters who are amazing. Yes, Jesus loves me.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Jesus works through means, which includes people, family, and that's one of the blessings that we get to form community, and sometimes that community gets to be even more special when you fall in love with somebody from that community. I mean, I met my wife at church too. you know, I highly suggest it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but you have to see your blessings. You have to realize that they are there. The blessings are there. People get weighed down with problems and troubles in their life, but I think almost everyone has some kind of blessings going on somewhere. You just have to find them and accentuate the positive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the Psalm says weeping comes at night, but joy comes in the morning. And there are times of weeping and real loss and tragedy and all those things. And I'll never forget this pastor I knew, Reverend McElroy. She would say, whatever you chase is going to chase you back. So, if you chase after depression, trouble, conflict, all those things, it's going to chase you back. But if you actively pursue righteousness, justice, faith, love, community, all those things, that's also going to find you as well. So it really is. I talk about gospel glasses. What glasses are you wearing? What are you looking for?
Mhm.
So, well, Steve and Dr. Judy and Maggie, I see you down there, little
Yes,
tail wagger.
not something else. She's okay.
Yeah. You came to St. John's, and your granddaughter was the waymaker for that. And Jesus has certainly walked in your life, and you and Judy together have helped so many of us see Jesus maybe for the first time, or at least more clearly.
Mhm.
So thank you. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your family's life, and for just being a blessing to us in every way imaginable. I'm so grateful for y'all. So thank you so much.
Judy?
I just wanted to say how thankful I am that you do these online services. When the pandemic started, I used to watch the evening prayers every night,
Mhm.
and then the Sunday services, and
Mhm.
it has meant so much to me to be able to be part of a community. I recognize people in your church
Right.
now, and
Right.
although I don't know them personally, I recognize
Mhm.
they are, and I feel a part of it.
Part of
And
a family.
I'm
Yeah,
very thankful
Yeah.
for that ability, for that possibility.
yeah, yeah. We're grateful for it too. We have upwards of like probably this particular testimonial will probably get about 1,000 views, which isn't too bad.
No.
And the ways, Paul wrote, God works for good in all things for those who love him. And, I think the pandemic has been nothing but a horror show. And yet, even out of that, God is able to work out good things in unexpected ways. And this is one of those unexpected ways. This never would have happened without the pandemic. I never would have come up. Y'all would have been part of a local place up there. And this just would not have been a possibility. And yet good has come
Yes.
out of
yes.
it all.
And
Out of it
again, I
all.
say, yes, Jesus loves me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Dr. Judy, Steve, Maggie, and all the good knofs, wherever you are, thank you so much for being a part of this tonight. We have one more testimonial coming up next Wednesday night. This Sunday is Palm Sunday. We will meet down on the corner of Franklin and Milton just before 10 to do our palm processional up the block to the church.
I don't know if we'll make it.
I don't think y'all are going to make it. Monday night, we have sacred music and the Bonhoeffer Lenten devotionals.
Mhm.
Tuesday night is co-conspirators. Wednesday night is pop-up testimonial. Thursday is 7 p.m. worship with Ascension Episcopal. Friday is Good Friday worship with Ascension Episcopal. Saturday is everybody come to church and clean everything. And then Sunday is the high feast day of Easter at 10 a.m. So we've got a lot coming up. So strap in and come on and
We'll
get
tune
your
in.
worship
We'll tune
on.
in
Tune
as
in,
much as we
tune
can.
in, and we're gonna make it all happen. Thank you, everyone. Please
Thank you,
share this and
Pastor.
we'll see y'all soon.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.